hospital port as pride and dignity stop the New World Order. Welcome to Hapanwo TV. Right, I'm off to London. I'm going there again. I'm actually heading for an event. I'll just show you what it is. Right, this is the event I'm going to. And it's funny, I say this is the event I'm going to. It says Rally to Save Brexit, 29th of March, Parliament Square. Brexit rally, hosted by Leave Means Leave. But this is not actually the event itself. This is one of the organisers of one of the events that is taking place within this amalgam of several different groups of people who all come into the same area of London to take part in the same larger event. And the other, of course, is Tommy Robinson and his group and what he has organised. And but basically, this is it's on Eventbrite. I went to look at the Eventbrite page, and I said, well, surely not charging people to come here. And I looked, and it said. It says you register to become a cheerleader, and that's what it says. And you just click on it. It just says free. So if you want to actually, I don't know how many people actually did it. But I don't know if you want actually to actually come along. You can actually click it and register and get your Eventbrite ticket for no price at all to be a cheerleader. But I don't know why this is even on Eventbrite actually, because Eventbrite is for things where there's usually a paid entrance fee and you have to buy a ticket. Here you get a ticket for something on a public street which you can come along to anyway. It's just basically, it's a come as you are whenever you like sort of thing. And so I don't exactly know why that is the case. I'm not sure exactly why they did that. But never mind. It's just I'm glad they did it. This is the event organised. The Leave Means Leave is basically Nigel Farage's group that have been organising the big march from north of England down to London, which I think only 50 people actually went the whole way. I'd love to have joined them, but well, I've got work and of course my bad knee. But anyway, there's been lots of talk on YouTube about this. One of the people who's talked about it is this chap, Reverend Simon Sideways. He's got a YouTube channel, which is, he's got two YouTube channels actually. One's called Reverend Simon Sideways Family Friendly, because on his main channel he swears continuously. So if you're of a delicate disposition, go to the family-friendly one where he doesn't swear. And so he's a friend of Caroline's. She knows him, and he's been involved in Wake Up UK. Another chap, of course, is Tommy Robinson himself. Now he's released a video. He's released several sort of impromptu videos talking about this, and he's actually organising one of the stages there. I think there's two main stages, which. I don't know how exactly that's going to work, because there's two stages in Parliament Square and Whitehall and a big crowd of people, so which one are you going to watch? But maybe it'll work. We'll see how it goes. But he's been making several videos encouraging people to come along, saying how he's looking forward to it and everything. He's going to be one of the speakers. He's organised other speakers, and I remember he was the organiser of one of the main organisers for the Day for Freedom. And I'll surely put a link in the description box to that, because that is a very, very important. That was a very important event, I thought. Now, somebody else who's very keen on this and actually is going to come along is this YouTuber, Brit Girl. I don't know her real name actually. She's a British woman who does YouTubes about anti-globalism and all its associated ideas. And of course, she's very pro-Leave. And so she's going to be there too. I know she's a friend of Daniel Bostock, who's a friend of mine. So hopefully I'll get to meet her and talk to her, because any friend of Dan's, you know. This is looking good. I mean, this looks like it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. I sense the rumble of approaching thunder. So let's just go and get ourselves soaking wet in the storm and hope we get struck by lightning. I'm on the coach now, and as you can see, the weather's beautiful out there. It's absolutely lovely, lovely weather, beautiful day. I haven't seen a chemtrail, there's no clouds. Heading for London now. Well, I've arrived in London. Now I'm going to, you can see me, and that's what I look like now. You may notice my attire is slightly different, and that's because well, I'll tell you in a minute. Right now I've got to find my way to Victoria Station. I'll just show you where I am. I'm at Green Park, as you can see here. I'm actually standing with my back to this, because Well, you know, you get, as you can see, I've transformed. Well, the reason is, I mean, I looked different earlier because I was walking through Oxford, and when you walk through Oxford dressed like this, you can get beaten up. Because Oxford is an Antifa hotbed, it really is. So I came to London and I went to Victoria Station. I found the toilets, the original ones were shut, so I had to go into this shopping area, and I managed to change. Now I've got my MAGA hat on there, my Trump hat, and as you see, Brexit hard, Brexit now, Brexit hard. That's what it says there. Can you see that? Okay. I don't know if you can see what I've got on the back. I don't know if you can see very well what I've got on the back. But I've actually got, it actually says hashtag 5G, hashtag Finchley Road, hashtag common purpose. So it's some extra things people can look up, you know, about this whole issue. I'm actually at the London Reptile House, you see over there. That is the London Reptile House. No need to give you another tour of that, do you? The funny thing is, one thing I should clarify is, although, like I said, symbols like this have really changed their status within my beliefs and my mind, as I explained on previous videos, especially why 2016 matters, and I think I'll put a link in the description box to that. But also, I should point out that the Buckingham Palace, that sort of thing, it hasn't changed. That is still part of the globalist establishment. Anyway, Brexit Day is absolutely beautiful. See here, look at the weather. Look at the weather like that. I mean, you saw in the cloud, there's not a cloud in the sky, and there's not a chemtrail in sight. The sun, Nigel Farage said that on the 24th of June that the sun had risen on a free nation. Well, the sun has certainly risen today on a free nation. We should point out that today is Brexit Day, and I know that on the live stream the other night I was talking about how they were going to delay it and everything like that. Well, it turns out that they can't actually do that lawfully. There's actually a European man who was a judge in the European Court has actually wrote an article explaining how that today being Brexit Day is actually written into law. It's actually written into the Article 50 Act. So the British legislation, which is actually about us leaving the European Union on this particular date, is actually written into law. It's actually written into the Act, and the only way to stop that from happening is to amend the Act, to amend the Article 50 Act, which was passed in March 2017. Okay, that's the only way you can amend it. And to do that, you need the approval of the House of Commons and the House of Lords. It would have to be a full parliamentary bill, basically. And if they haven't done that, well, they haven't. They've got this thing called a statutory instrument. But the statutory instrument is just something that Theresa May has stood up and said, here's a statutory instrument. Here it is. So we're delaying Brexit. We can't do that. You can't do it. So today is Brexit Day. On this day, 11 PM, according to the law of the land, Britain leaves the European Union, and what's more, if anyone says otherwise, then they're breaking the law, and that includes Parliament. Right, so I walked all the way from Victoria Station here to Green Park, and I never had any trouble. I thought I was expecting to get someone like some, catcalls and drive-by abusers and, middle fingers being raised behind windows of pubs and things like that. Didn't happen. I actually I met one guy outside Buckingham Palace who's got he's got his new Brexit passport. You can get them on eBay actually. There's like covers you can put over your passport, and got to get one of those. And he was telling me about how he'd gone over to Washington to watch the Trump inauguration, and we had a bit of a talk. And then, I might see him later. Although it's going to be a huge crowd. The reason I'm standing at the back of this is because when I'm sort of standing still, I don't want people approaching me from behind. Several people have been attacked from behind by Antifa. The thing about Antifa is they don't go for you when you're a big crowd. They'll sneak up to you as individuals and they'll attack you there. Now, one of the things that you often see people doing is they will come up behind you and maybe try and steal my Trump hat and things like that, or try and slap me or something. So this is why I got my back to this big pillar. But anyway, I'm going to have a little walk up there because I'm early. As is my habit, I tend to arrive early for things. I've arrived early for this. But I'm going to head up there now to the venue. Now, I say venue, but there's actually more than one event going on today. As I said, there's no real central organisation. It's not a centrally organised protest like the People's Vote campaign that marched here on the 23rd, last Saturday. That was organised by this group called the People's Vote. There's several different organisations. For example, there's Leave UK, there's Leave Means Leave, there's Leave UK, there's the United Kingdom Independence Party, there's Tommy Robinson and his group, there's the Day for Freedom group, I don't know what they're called now. So there's several different groups working together with no real central organisation. And I know there's at least two places where people are gathering, and luckily they're very close to each other. One is in Parliament Square, and I think that's where the UKIP Leave Means Leave people are going to be, and Nigel Farage is going to speak there. And the second is Whitehall. Now in Whitehall is where the Day for Freedom happened, right outside Downing Street, and that's where Tommy Robinson's going to have a stage, and he's going to have various people on there. I think he's going to show the Panorama movie, and several things like that. So I'm going to walk up there. Still waiting to be abused on the street. It hasn't happened yet. But I've got to walk. It's a bit annoying. I forgot my bloody Oyster card. Shouldn't be a problem because I'm actually not planning on using the public transport here. I might do to get back after the event if I get back late. But because I mean, if the mood is up and if people are doing it, I'll stay here for 11 p.m. I'll stay here for the moment of Brexit. However, it all depends. It depends what other people want to do. I might well do though. If I do that, I'm going to have to find somewhere to eat and things like that. But then what I'll do is I'll get a. It's within walking distance. It's like a half-hour's walk. It's basically up to Buckingham Palace and up the Mall to Trafalgar Square, and there's Whitehall and Parliament Square just in front of you. It's about a half-hour walk. I've done it before. Indeed, if you remember from the alt-right book launch video, I walked all the way back from Trafalgar Square and did a commentary. So it shouldn't be hard to walk back. I think the standing around might be a bit arduous, but what the hell? I'm a warrior for the nation's freedom and for the anti-New World Order. I mean, what the hell am I supposed to be doing, you know? Hello. Someone just waved at me, I don't know why. And so I'm actually going to walk back. I'll be walking back. So I'll probably walk back tonight, actually. But if not, I just have to buy a single ticket. Just buy a single ticket on the tube. I forgot. We'll see what happens anyway. One bit of disappointment. There's several people not here. Daniel Bostock is not here. He can't make it. I was hoping to meet up with him because I missed him at the Day for Freedom because he was. Daniel Bostock was actually there, and I didn't see him because of the huge crowds. He's not going to be there this time. He can't make it. Another person who's not going to be here is Caroline Stevens, as you know from the videos on Panway Radio. I've been working very closely with her. She's not going to be here, and that's a disappointment. She's made a choice not to be here. She's got other things to do, first of all, but also she doesn't. I think she has a bit of a low opinion of this gathering. I'm not sure I understood all her points, so I apologise if I've misunderstood. But the fact that Nigel Farage is going to be there and people are going to listen to him and clap him, that's enough for her to not to regard this as a legitimate protest. As I explained if you listen to her Panway Radio last night, I explained that I'm well aware of her point she makes. I take the point she makes about Nigel Farage, but this isn't about him. Nothing, even when he's speaking on stage, it's not about him. I know he's not to be trusted, but it's about all the people who are there. That's what counts. Anyway, on this lovely, beautiful Brexit day here in London, I'm now going to head up to the Mall. We'll take a slow walk. I've got plenty of time. I'll get there early and spy out the land. If I've got time, I might go into the Houses of Parliament because I've not done that before. I've not actually gone in and watched our own houses, our own government at work. I've done it in Australia. When I was in Australia, I was in Canberra and I went to the Houses of Parliament there and I watched the MPs prattling away. I've never done it here, so, well, that's something on your bucket list, I think. I mean, the tourists come from all over the world and do it, so I should, being a native Brit, I should go and do that, shouldn't I? They're a bunch of bloody... I know they're a bunch of tossers and they basically need to be kicked out, but it'll still be interesting to see them bullshitting to each other in the dispatch box and things like that. Okay, so see you later. We're kind of walking up the Mall now. The sun is still shining, as you can see. It's really... you couldn't ask for better weather on Brexit Day, you really couldn't. Now, funny enough, like I said, no one's had a go at me or anything, but I've had... there's something I forgot to mention earlier. I got off the coach, and I was walking in the Victoria station, and these people approached me. There was a man, a woman, and children. And I'll come over here, it's a bit quieter. There's a bit of traffic noise at the moment. Might go over here. I'll tell you all about it. As you can see here, there's all these... I'm not exactly sure what these buildings are actually. I've shown them before on Hapanwo TV. Ooh. I've shown them before on Hapanwo TV, but there's like all these flags and this big building of pomp ceremony. Anyway, as I was saying, there was these people approached me, a man and woman with some children, sort of aged about, I'd say 10 to 14, three of them, three boys. And I remember they'd been on the coach on the way from Oxford. They'd been sitting behind me, and I remember them because the woman had been reading a story to the children. It's quite nice, actually. I quite like that sort of thing. I used to do that with Louisa. Anyway, I said, "Are you going on a protest?" They looked at me and says, "You on the coach just now?" And I said, "Yeah, you going on a protest?" And I thought, you know, I was in disguise at the time. I hadn't put all this paraphernalia on, and I thought, how do they know? And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Oh, good, so are we." I thought, thank goodness for that. And I showed him my bag of. I had all the stuff in a plastic bag, and I said, "You can't really wear this in Oxford because you get beaten up. You get beaten up if you walk through Oxford like this." And they agreed. But as I said, you know, it's maybe there's something about me. Maybe I have that sort of subversive look. I don't know. Another thing was nice. I was walking along here in a taxi. This guy getting in a taxi, and he offered me a lift. And he's going to Parliament Square to protest as well. So it looks like there's a lot of people arriving already. So when I get there, I might not be the first. There's going to be more people. So that's nice. Look forward to meeting some people, having some talks, connecting with like-minded individuals and things like that. Which is what this is all about, really. It really is. It's this solidarity. Because, God blimey, it's lonely in Oxford. It really is. It's Remainer Central. So let's get on there, because I'm nearly at Trafalgar Square. If you remember, I've shown you that several times before. So let's go. Now I've reached the top of the Mall. There's Admiralty Arch. I think it's Admiralty Arch, yeah. And there's the monument. As you can see, there's quite a police presence here. There's some police over there, and of course there would be for something like this. There's bound to be for something like this because of obviously it's a public demonstration. So I'm sure there was one on Saturday as well for the Ramona March. Incidentally, I have no problem with the Ramona March. I'm quite happy for people to exercise a democratic right to street protest. That's absolutely fine. So if the Ramonas want to march, I won't stop them. I won't protest them. And what I do. You may notice I've got my hand on top of my head like this, and the reason I do that, I'm doing it every time I stop, like at a Pelican Crossing or something, is because, like I said, one of the favourite things that morons like to do is come up behind you and like slap you or your head or snatch your Trump hat and things like that. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I am going to give. I'm good. No policemen have sort of like approached me or given me any suspicious looks. I'm not going to drink at all today. I'm not going to go to a pub or anything. If I go to a pub, I'll have a soft drink. I'm not going to give anyone any pretext to arrest me or to consider me suspicious in any way. I'm going to be on my best behaviour. So if I do get nicked, it'll be for an ulterior motive. Just to let you know if this particular video doesn't turn out the way I want it to. Anyway, let's carry on. Right, I'm now on Whitehall. The sun is still shining. There's some war memorials there and these various ministries and things like that. I'm now heading towards Parliament Square. Now just down here is Downing Street, and that's where the stage for, if you remember, for the Day for Freedom was, and it's not there today, so maybe they haven't set it up yet, or maybe there's another reason, I'm not sure, but I'm going to keep on heading down there. Large police presence. I've seen some uniforms of the City of London Police, the big Masonic Centre, as well as Metropolitan Police, which serves the entire metropolis of London. So obviously they may be coming in to assist, I don't know, maybe they often work together. But right now I've not seen any more protesters apart from the people who I bumped into along the way. So at the moment there's no sign of anything unusual going on, but I'll keep you posted. And here we are. This is Downing Street. This is the home of the old zombie who's running the country. And it's strange actually how when people get into senior political office, it seems to take years off them, years on them. Puts on a decade every 12 months. I mean, Theresa May now, it's like she's been embalmed alive. Look at the state of Bill Clinton. So there's obviously a very, very tight security here. You see there's a nut, you can go in there and you've got there's a double gate, there's two gates here. There are armed police officers here. I think they're obviously really, I think it shows how little respect, shows that they know we have very little respect for them. They know that basically they have to be protected from us because we feel such contempt for them. I mean, in a healthy country, the head of government, head of state, will be able to walk down the street and sit in cafes and things like that, and everyone will just go up and shake their hand. But see, that doesn't happen here because they're so horrible. So because everyone's so horrible, everyone hates them so much. And that's why you've got this big gate here. Now, David Icke used to say that when he was a kid, he came here, and this gate used not to be here, and you could walk right up and walk out in front of number 10. And you could do that, and now you can't because this is like this count. Very good, sir. That's that other side saying, get on the clean break we voted for. Well said, sir. I quite agree. So this gentleman here is a good protester. I'm going to now carry on because I can see some flags waving. I can see the Union flag. I haven't seen the gender study professor's apron yet, so the counter-protesters have not arrived. And I think here we have what is going to be the stage. I think it's probably the same stage they used last time. And I don't know which. Oh, this is all divided up. I think I might have to go this way. But I'm now going to. I think if you walk down this way, you get to Parliament Square. When you get there, it's a bit awkward because when I last went there were no Pelican crossings to get across the road. With any luck, the road will be sealed off. I mean, these roads are regularly sealed off because of all kinds of protests. You get every weekend you get protests. Hello, I've just seen some more protesters there. Yeah, see, I'm getting close now, and I'm not the first to arrive. And here is the stage, is the sound stage for the Tommy Robinson event, and it's a little bit further down. Like, if you remember from the Day for Freedom, we were actually right up by Downing Street. They've moved it a bit further this time, further down towards Parliament Square. Maybe they don't. I expect there may be various reasons for that. But as you can see here, it's all set up. It's all on the back of a lorry. It's all very compact and easy to assemble. And that's going to be the TV screen. And you see people are already gathering to get good seats at the front, which is what I did last time. But I'm not, because I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure which one I'm going to go to, or whether I'll go to both, whether I'll move between the two of them, because there's this other one over here, and I can see the flags waving. It's actually at Parliament Square. So I'm definitely not the first to arrive. And so there's going to be two events, I think. That's what Tommy Robinson was saying last night anyway. I hear music as well. Looks like people are... Yeah, people are out in force. It's wonderful. I don't know how many there'll be, but let's bear in mind this is only about 1 PM. And it's not due to start for at least 2 hours. And we already have a big crowd, yeah. So I'm in the right place, definitely. Yeah. And the road is shut, so that's good. That means we can we go straight across. No traffic. That means they're expecting a large number of people. And we have here traitors to democracy, yeah. Believe in Britain. Look at all the flowers, wonderful. Look at all the flags there. Leave means leave. Yeah. There's a massive crowd of people here. You buy flags in various places here. And over there is the that over there is the Palace of Westminster, which basically we need another Guy Fawkes, quite frankly. A disclaimer, that's just a joke. Now that there is Big Ben. Now believe it or not, that is Big Ben, the famous phallic symbol they've got above the Palace of Westminster. Now, if it's actually undergoing major repairs at the moment. Apparently, someone found out it was leaning 3 feet to one side, so it was nicknamed the Leaning Tower, the Leaning Tower of Pisa in London, or something like that. And so they're fixing it, and it means it's not actually ringing. It's not going to be ringing for a few years. But they are actually. There's going to be a. There's going to be a like a major. There's going to be on major occasions. It's going to ring. We've got UKIP there. Flag of England. For Britain, the For Britain party. And yeah, look, the evening, isn't it? Fantastic. Actually, there's people chanting already. It's really great. I've seen all kinds of flags. I saw the flag of Lancashire, red rose. And there's a Cornish flag over there. I've seen an Irish flag. And I saw another, what was it? Just a couple of Scottish flags. It's important, like, to know that it's not just about Britain, it affects the whole world. Ireland has been totally screwed by the European Union in an appalling way. Ireland is what Britain would have been if we hadn't put up so much of a fuss. It's important to realise that we've resisted all the time anyway. We're not in the Eurozone, we're not in the Schengen zone. So Britain has always been a thorn in the side of this tyrannical empire. It's always been the problem province. I think they'll be glad to see the back of us. There's got a megaphone there. There'll be more of that, you can be sure, as the afternoon wears on. It's a wonderful sight seeing all this, it really is. People with flags, people with yellow vests.
Here, this is right off over there.
Yeah, minimal compared to...
There we are. You could always get the Welsh at places like this.
We run around.
It's wonderful. Massive police presence, of course, is what you'd expect. That's fine with me. I'm not going to cause any trouble. You'll find that no one caused any trouble that day for freedom, and I doubt if people will today. Someone's got a great banner here.
Okay. Needs explaining, I don't know.
Ireland, France, Holland. Yeah, absolutely. That's very true.
Yeah. So you only get the chance. 52%. If they remain won by 52%, do you think we'd have another second?
Of course not. No.
Absolutely not.
They keep on giving us referendums until they get the answer they want.
So like you say, it's Big Brother. You vote the way they want, and they'll do it.
When they couldn't get the European.
Only called it because he was so arrogant and smoked, along with Blair, phony Blair. Yeah, you've heard of Nudge. The Nudge, there's a book on it as well, where they very slowly, but
gradualism.
They change things like
the frog in the saucepan thing, isn't it?
Now, where the kids now don't know nothing about.
Yeah. You know, in 1973, Tony Benn said one day this is going to be the United States of Europe, and he was right. And when the European Constitution couldn't go in, they just changed its name. They call it Lisbon Treaty.
Yeah,
and they
exactly. Well, the two of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ireland and Holland.
Yeah. It's an incredibly dirty trick. Yeah. So the world is watching. Have a look, everyone.
Was it 73? Yeah. Well, that was the first referendum, and we were lied to, absolutely lied to, because it was the European Economic
Community. Yeah.
Then we saw a European directive after, and the legislature, all that being.
Donald Tusk the other day claimed that the 2016 referendum was a second referendum, but it wasn't, because you just said we were never told this was going to be a political federation. They let us into it slowly.
That's why we voted, and there should have been far more in numbers to leave. Because that's when we were educated. Over all that time, we became aware of what it had morphed into. Centralised. We went to Brussels.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's what it is. It's not that we didn't understand in 2016.
And this, it is. Yeah, that's right. This gentleman's got a great badge there.
Yeah.
Well, Europe's swaying now.
It will.
I was wearing this when we the referendum. I was on the referendum.
This is what we're now being told is just a kind of interim opinion poll, aren't they? That's how they're portraying it. It actually was a referendum, and we voted to leave, and they're just everyone's trying to pretend it never happened. You know,
As far as I'm concerned, we vote to leave, that's it, out.
exactly. But that's how simple it should be.
That's democracy.
Yes, exactly.
Also, I'm ex-BBC. I was working at Television Centre in the 1980s, and here's the
nobody's
thing.
perfect, mate.
Well, exactly. I was big time, but when people come in from an OB, OBs are outside broadcasts, they come in and they've been to the same event, like you two here. If you were to meet up in the future, like this evening, and say we were in London, you'd recount this pretty much unanimity. You'd have the same kind of recollection, right? So there's no reason for you to lie to each other. So when we have people, journalists coming back from OBs, they would come into the post room, they're talking about events they're covering. Then what I would see later on television, they omit a lot. They don't necessarily lie, but they don't put everything in context, you know? So that's the situation. When two people are talking about, there's no reason for them to lie to each other. They've witnessed the same event. And that's what happens in that intervening period.
Yeah, it's just so obvious when you can see through it. It's just like by doing it a little bit slowly at a time and by distracting people. That's interesting. Thanks very much for because this is going to go on to. It's called the Brexit protest. It's on the YouTube channel Panwo TV. Is that all right with you?
This one as well because I was on Gab.
What's your name?
Well, I can't tell you.
Oh, no worries, no problem. But you're on Gab. I'm on Gab.
Barney. Yeah. My surname's Barney. No, it's not there. I've run out of them there. You've been around your hometown and you've seen the. Ramona's stickers in luminous yellow.
I'm from Oxford, mate. All
when
the
you
time.
go there and you see stuck on lampposts and stuff like that, we went round in talking about that, and we, after the students went out, we followed them and we obliterated everything but Brexit.
Good.
Really pissed them off though.
Well
with
done,
a permanent
mate.
black marker.
Well done, mate. That's it. Direct text. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. See, that's really interesting stuff there, isn't it? You know, I reckon you were right what you said. It's going down the toilet anyway, the whole thing.
Why would you stay in somewhere that's going down the toilet?
Yeah, this is why Brussels is trying to get us out as quickly as possible because it's the only way they think they can save it.
It's my faith that they're getting really frightened.
Yeah, they want to sacrifice us to save the whole empire.
They're frightened to lose him. Apart from anything else, they're losing the money.
Yeah, there's a t-shirt there. This gentleman's wearing a really good t-shirt. Yeah, vote leave me leave. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, I wore that on the referendum.
Well done, sir.
What's going on?
Do you know they've? I think we're the problem province. They want to get rid of us from the empire.
That's all right. Get rid of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Roll on, I say. Yeah. Hopefully that. Well, actually,
I've been waiting for this since 1972. That's when Heath told us he was going to take us in. He actually took us in 1973. And ever since then, I thought, no, hang about, John. You can't do that because you haven't bloody well asked us. That's when they should have had a referendum.
Yeah, beforehand, not beforehand, 75. That was 3 years down the line.
That's right. Yeah.
People
But then by that time, 75, it was just.
A lot of people, especially our young people who might not have been around at the time, they forget how long this has been going on for.
Oh yeah, well that's why I used to tell them in the referendum when I was talking to people on the street, saying, you think to yourself, we're losing your heritage and all this sort of thing. Forget it, I said. I've been feeling like that since 1972. I said, don't worry about you. You're young. You're too young to realise the start of it.
Yeah.
I've been feeling like since 1972. I said, that's what, But it just annoyed me that, you see there's a lot of young people around here now. I think good, because they're thinking like we do. Done a good job too.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, I'm pleased. It seems it's all falling apart now, and it's been going on so long. In fact, you could trace it back to like the 1920. That's when the Pan Europa book came out.
Oh yeah.
That's when and they said they knew they couldn't do it in one go. They had to do it slowly but stealthily, so we wouldn't notice. But we are noticing.
We're noticing, right?
And do you know, it's 11 p.m. tonight. We actually leave, and that's not.
I've got some nice booze lined up.
Good, mate.
I'm still going to drink it anyway. At 11 o'clock, I should be there drinking me Prosecco or I've got quite a few bit of booze lined up. Just give me Prosecco or something. I don't know. It depends what I'll get hold of.
Good on you.
But then when we actually do come out, hopefully on the 12th, I'll have another booze as well.
Well, as many as possible. I mean, I'm personally going to do both because today is the actual Brexit day. I mean, it's actually 11 p.m. tonight we come out, and they're pretending otherwise because they've got the statutory instrument is not been passed through in the law.
If they later on, is to throw the thing out again. Not ideally, because it's only half of
the deal. Yeah.
Whatever, it's no commas. If I throw it out again, and we can't do anything else, we've only got another 12 days to wait.
Yeah.
And we're out.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, like even they're admitting, Russell's even saying that they're only going to keep up the pretense to the 12th of April if there's no deal, and then 22nd of May at the latest. But in reality, they all know that we come out at 11 p.m. tonight. They know that. They know that they can't undo the Article 50 Act, which is someone saying, "Oh, we're using this statutory instrument." The statutory instrument has to be an act of Parliament, which means it's got to go through the House of Lords. And so far, it's just the MPO. It's a statutory act, the statutory instrument they're calling it. Oh, that's really good, don't they? Yeah. Load of badges. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Is going to be fun, man. There's more people arriving, minute by minute. There's more and more people joining us. We don't start for 2 hours, and look how many people are here. Look at all these people. There's going to be more than the real last Saturday.
When we came down here just before the referendum, because I was a member of UKIP now, I'm not now. The way they carried on right up until
yeah, I know.
And then, they were down, it was welcome, they stood down, it's fine. That's all right. But when we came down here before, there was only about 1,000 of us, and we were just a little bit down the road there. And there weren't too many people there, nothing like here, nothing like stuff. It's built up and built up.
Yeah.
1,000 people now.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, this is going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely massive.
One thing I wanted them to do.
As you can see, there is a helicopter flying over us. Now that's always a good sign. It means there's a big crowd. They always have helicopters when there's a big crowd of people. And as you can see, there's a huge number of people. And I've had all kinds of other amazing things that people have been seeing. Wonderful T-shirts, wonderful smiles on people's faces. Yeah, it's empowering. It's very empowering. SSR, yes it does. That's exactly right.
Hold out.
Yeah, very good. The EU SSR Euro, yeah. What's that there? One there is establishment. Yeah, that's good ones. That's good ones. Good ones then. There's more people arriving. The crowd's getting bigger. I like that there. Ein Volk, ein Tusk. Oh yes. Yes. The gender study professor's apron, I call that flag. I'm going to go around and see if I can see some other good flags. I'll see you later. I'll come back here actually because it's a good place. So I'll go over here actually because I want to see the. I want to actually see how close I can get to Parliament. There seems to be a large number of people sort of walking generally in this direction from left to right here, from over there towards Westminster Abbey. There's a good one there. There's a good flag. Love that flag. That's a great flag. Brighton voted leave. Yeah. Oxford, of course, voted remain. It's a shame. There's a veterans flag there. I've seen a flag of Devon somewhere. As you can see, there's a line of policemen and policewomen preventing us getting into the House of Parliament. And they're very, very concerned that we can't go. We can't actually go into the House of Parliament there. That is the nest of tigers and lions. That there is the actual place. There's a band coming, look, Betrayed by Parliament, yeah, very true. Yeah, I agree, no deal's best. Here's the band over there. Vote leave there. See, people forget this is like it's falling into history already. Vote leave. It's just descending into kind of history. It's like, oh, it was an opinion poll that happened a few years ago, wasn't it? People's memories are short. And there we have the flag of Northern Ireland, and these guys have got a lot to lose from May's deal because it'll turn it into a gulag of the European Union, like I said before. Possibly forever. I mean, they say up to 2021, but it could be a lot longer than that. It could be much, much longer. Remain and kill, yeah, good way. Vote them out. Vote out those bastards. Deselect them. If all they care about is their careers, then just talk to them in that. Just make it about their careers if that's all they care about. Is their cushy job and their salary. You voted leave, yeah. Great number of people here. It's wonderful to see them.
Respect the
Very good.
vote
Yeah.
for Brussels!
Yeah. This is this is a different one. Oh, it's a different protest here. Yeah. All right, 100 strong. So there's more than one protest here today. Actually, we've got like got a separate protest here. Look at these flags here. Absolute sea of flags. Wonderful to see. Let's just show you how. I want to see how extensive this crowd is. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get much bigger. No, there's flags there. I've got a little one. Just look at this. You've got the Royal Standard there, which is not something I would ever do. I don't think I would ever be seen with the flag of the Lizard Queen anywhere, quite frankly. Let's have a walk around here. Yeah. Someone just took me photo. Man in black. It's that man in black, you see. He took me photo. I don't mind. Let him photograph me. We're coming in this Westminster Abbey there. I'm waving my flag now. Someone has a vuvuzela. It's great. I'll wave my flag now. I think we maybe should walk around in circles, which is great. That's great. There's a guy with a V for Vendetta mask there. Oh, look at it. Yeah, that's a good one, that's a good one. Don't let May betray the UK. Merchant Navy flag there. There's a Nelson Mandela statue, who's not the angel he was been portrayed as, I must say. I remember the last time I came to a protest, it was 2008, and that was when I met Sue Stain. These are pretty. Oh look, at the voters, very good. It's just so many different people here. There's so many different flags, and of course it is. I love that lad song. She's playing music there. Yeah. Oh man, it's like, yes, I mean, I've seen all kinds of people here. It is predominantly white men, but you know, I've seen Asian people here, I've seen black people here. I've seen many different people, different racial colours everywhere. You know? Look at this flag with a smiley face on. It's like Oh, there's an energy here I've not seen before in ages. Yeah, I mean, it's like, just look at this. Look at that. It's still not going to start for over an hour. Look how many people are here. Oh man, it makes me feel almost tearful. It really does to see this. There's such an energy here. It's incredible. I'm like. Actually, I asked a few people. I asked some people on, as you know, if you watch regularly, I asked you guys if anyone's coming, you'll come over and say hello, come and join me. But I don't know how many of you can find me in this crowd. It's like there's something sincere about this. There's something genuine. There's something that makes it. It's like that. It feels like it's in line with natural law, if you know what I mean. Maybe I'll say more about that another time. But that's how it feels. Last time I came here on a protest, it was 2008. It was July 2008, and I met. It was September 2008, and I met Sue Stain here. And there's a video actually. I'm still with me meeting Sue Stain, and I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, but we definitely dug on each other, you know. And I'm like. Got UKIP there. Lots of UKIP flags. That over there is the United Stars and Stripes, United States. As I say, you know, this is not just about Britain. This is about the whole world. This is about the whole world. This affects the entire world because the agenda for the New World Order, the superstate agenda, it's more than just about national sovereignty. It's far more. It's about the future of our planet and the people who live on her. Really. Some more fantastic banners here. Parliament has declared war on democracy. Remember on the 29th of March, traitors, yeah. Gospel 64 voted leave. And you can see a Parliament. It's an acronym now. Poisonous, pompous, abandoned oh god, yeah, very excellent that is. Very good. Very good. Tommy Robinson has just done a speech over here at the Tommy Robinson event. Which of course these two sort of events are really moving. I think they kind of merge into one really. There's a flag of Australia there, it's an Australian flag. See what I mean about being the whole world? Tommy Robinson. There's the Tommy Robinson chant. Fishing industry has been devastated by Brexit.
Oh, I don't know, I've got nail pots in August, I can do this.
That is Tommy Robinson, I think, that's in there. There he is. That's him. I don't know if you can focus, that's old Tommy. Get out there, you know, yeah. Project Fear. Yeah, I think those two are going to get super gonorrhea. What do you reckon?
We need some proper French steering.
Remain MPs dictate the traitors, yes. Today's deal is not Brexit, yeah. WTO Brexit, yeah. As I said, you know, the deal, if it goes through, well, then, well, we officially, well, not officially, but the government will admit we've left on the 22nd of May, but it's a return ticket. We'll be back within 18 months. That's the idea. I'm walking around here by Parliament Square again, and there's another lorry. There's another lorry-based TV camera there. There's two here. See, I think these two events are kind of merging into one. Although there'll be sort of audio coming from both pretty soon. I'll have a walk up onto the grass and sort of circulate there for a bit, see what I can see there. But it's some amazing. The atmosphere here is incredible. Never seen it. Never felt anything like it. Really haven't. Hello. I like. Yeah, look, these ladies are very good. Believe in Britain. Yeah. And we are 174 million %. Where have you come from today? From Essex. Oh, well done. Well done. But I come from Oxford.
Well done.
Yeah. I'm actually making a video called the Brexit protest. It's on Panmo TV on YouTube. Could I include what you've just showed me on there?
Yeah, we're going to be on it.
Yeah. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Well, thanks. It's lovely. I really love it here. It's amazing atmosphere. Well, to London around here, yeah, but to a protest like this, never. I came to the Day for Freedom, which is just up there, back in May, but that was really good.
This is our first one. Did you pop up last week to the other one?
Well, no, I didn't. Was there a counter demonstration there?
Yeah.
Oh, right, I didn't get to that one, no. I thought... If anyone's going to come all this way and march through the streets of London and saying they want to be part of this continental dictatorship, I don't really think you can persuade them otherwise.
They're not thinking about their children.
I know, if they're that dense, they're not open to persuasion. Yeah.
Do nothing, as usual.
Oh, look, it's nice one. Yeah. Still people arriving? It's wonderful.
It's the day that democracy dies. It's the day that the people will take control.
It's not starting for an hour, but look how many people there are. It's going to be huge. It's going to be bigger than the... Yeah, I do too. And it's a Friday, even though it's a weekday, there's still going to be so many people here.
They didn't show, on the other day, they don't show pictures of the royal wedding.
Oh, right.
And the coronation,
Oh, this won't get the media coverage. This will be mentioned on the news, but it won't be.
Not even 5 minutes worth.
Yeah, it won't be portrayed honestly. They'll say a small crowd of people appearing in Parliament Square and everything like that. This is the BBC and this is the news.
Have a look around. They don't look like there's many thugs.
Sorry.
Have a look around. They don't look like there's many thugs. Like they're making sad.
Everyone here is really nice. Honestly, there's police everywhere, but I'll tell you what, they're gonna. Well, on the Day for Freedom, there was no trouble at all. There was there must have been 20,000 plus people there. Everyone was just in a really good mood. Sorry?
How many here?
Haven't looked round. I haven't counted them obviously, but there must be more. There's more. Definitely more than there was on the Day for Freedom. And that was enough, yeah.
But they're marching along, aren't they? They're coming the other way.
Sorry. Yeah. Any news from in Parliament? What do you want they're voting about now?
They're going to vote, I think it's 2:30.
All right. It's, I mean, I think if it's... I mean, we leave at 11 p.m. tonight, no matter what. I mean, they'll pretend otherwise, but it's written in a letter of law we've left at 11 p.m. tonight.
They've got a court case, man, don't they? They just have to get off.
Yeah, the statutory instrument they put through to delay Brexit is not... It's not a proper act of Parliament. It can't amend the Articles of the Act. So they'll pretend, oh no, we're leaving on the 12th of April or the 22nd of May. It's a lie. We'll have already left.
Just got hope, haven't we?
Yeah.
In the case of Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, Brussels wants to get rid of us. I think we're more trouble than we're worth. We're the problem province, so they kick us out of the empire.
I think it's going to get worse because once we go, they're all going to go.
Well, I think nothing will save the EU now, but they know that if Brussels know that if they delay Brexit or do too much, well, the whole world is watching.
They don't want another election, do they? They get all on it.
They'll know that other countries are going to see what's happened to us, and then that's going to be really bad. Yeah.
And they can have 2 votes. They kept on until they voted what they wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be the last time. You're not going to get away with that this time. No way.
Get away with it this time.
No, definitely not.
I think people really have to know.
Yeah. Brilliant. This is look. Black flags. Look at the coffin. It's a There's a couple. Democracy. The day of reckoning, and there she is, the old zombie. That's brilliant. It's an actual full-size coffin there. Very good. Another great banner there, freedom. Go WTO, no more delay. That's World Trade Organization rules. And it's the same on the other side. Yeah. Bring back Cromwell. Oh, yeah. He voted, yeah. Oliver Cromwell was very interesting because he actually, what he did was he actually walked into that building over there and he arrested all the MPs. Good idea. Talking to a young chap, I think he must have been about 15, sorry, and he told me that basically he's been given a really hard time at school for being a Brexiteer, and I think that's really sad, you know, but I'm not surprised, but I wish him all the best because it takes guts to stand up for your beliefs when everyone else is opposed to them, and it's one of the most difficult things you can do, and he's done it nonetheless. So well done to him. And
I love Trump too. He does too. He's definitely my president.
It's like
I don't think we could do with him over here.
And I'm like I just think
Protest race, get your protest race.
in case you haven't got one already. And I just think it's hopefully a time will come when this won't happen anymore, where people can actually speak freely without being demonised either by state intervention or through peer pressure. Plastic trash.
This country will not bow down to dictatorship. You pay their wages. They work for you. They're not your masters. And we, the public, are not the slaves. They work for us. The Parliament is nothing but a time.
Look at the flags waving in the breeze. It's a lovely sight, isn't it? There's a libertarian flag over there, see? That's, don't tread on me, yeah. That's a lovely image, that's a lovely portrait, that is. Flags all blowing in the breeze, all kinds of flags. Stars and Stripes, England, UK, UKIP, Three Lions. Wonderful sight. This guy is one of the more unusual demonstrators we got here. Led to Boris Johnson. America will very soon decline, says Jesus. Alright. You can pause and read that, guys. He's a good dancer anyway. He's got another band, that's doing with Brexit. I know. Yeah. Just here. Alright.
Really sort of what it's got to do.
He's a good dancer though. Alright. You'd have to read the Bible to see that, but sure. Brexit's a fulfillment of the Bible prophecy. Oh blimey. A fulfillment of the Bible prophecy. Oh my goodness. Okay, just walked a little bit further along here. There's people sitting on the Alouette barriers, and there is the Parliament. There's Big Ben behind this big lunchbox, and I want to see how far this area goes past. See how far we go. I think it goes. I think it's the end of here by the look of things, which is when we get onto the embankment. But this area is all pedestrianised. Road closed to only open to pedestrians. You know what I'm going to say in a minute, don't you? St Thomas's Hospital over there. Looks remarkably like the John Radcliffe. Which is my old hospital. Yeah, you see here the traffic's going. So we're back to normal along here. They're all police horses. I don't think they're all standing by. And that, of course, as you've guessed, I'm going to point out, the statue of Boudica, ironically. Goodness me, I know what side she'd be on. Oh, I think I was going to say I was going to have a Boudica moment, but really, this whole day is one big Boudica moment for me. It really is. I've now reached the end of the. There's the big thing. You just see the clock face there, see? Just see the clock face. And this is as far as it goes. Huge area has been cordoned off. So there's the London Eye. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to show you these things. I'm here to take part in all this. So we'll go back. Okay, I'm back. And as you can see, Tommy Robinson's now on stage. I think he's showing the Panodrama film. It's very good, actually. I might watch this. I've seen it before. It'd be great to watch it here. Yeah. They're going to show a screening of Panodrama in the street. Yay. Nice. If you haven't watched it, please do. It's really good. He exposes the BBC for being lying, cheating bastards. Maybe I'll insert a full review here.
So I'll say a few words now about Panodrama, because I reviewed this on her Panmo Voice. Tommy Robinson is... The full title is Panodrama, an expose of the fake news BBC, and it was produced by Tommy Robinson and stars him. Now, I do recommend going and watching this, even if you don't consider yourself a supporter of Tommy Robinson. I think you'll enjoy this. All you need to do is despise the BBC, and I do, and I know a lot of you viewers do as well. In fact, I've actually found myself becoming less and less tolerant of the BBC. It's deceitful attitudes, manipulation, it's degenerate productions. I don't know if it's because of a change in me or a change in the BBC, probably a bit of both. This film follows the story of the BBC's attempt to make a documentary about Tommy Robinson. It's given the working title of Tommy Takedown. They they chose from the outset, I think, this was going to be a hatchet job, and this was actually proven. And this is really funny, actually. They had a number of dirty and underhand tricks up their sleeves. And the BBC always do this. I was actually asked several times to take part in the BBC programme. As you know, if you read regularly, I've more than once, the BBC have approached me and asked me if I wanted to be in one of their documentaries. And I declined. And when I saw the said documentaries, I was very, very relieved that I declined. Now, unfortunately for the BBC this time, Tommy managed to get his tricks in first. Now, what happened was the BBC approached a woman called Lucy Brown. Now, she's a photographer, and she's a former comrade, I say, in inverted quotes, of Tommy Robinson. Now, Lucy and Tommy had a very bitter and acrimonious parting shortly before this happened, and some people say that that parting was staged, and that makes me admire their subterfuge even more. Lucy famously had her prison number tattooed on Tommy's prison number tattooed on her wrist when he went into jail. Now, the BBC said we'll meet Lucy in a Cambridge restaurant and ask her if she wants to help with the Tommy Takedown programme. Now, the person she spoke to was one of the corporation's most prestigious journalists, someone called John Sweeney. He's been in the BBC, I think, since the 1960s, and he's one of their top men. About as far as high as a man can go, of course, because the BBC only has top women now, but men are sometimes allowed a role. Anyway, John Boy, he bought Lucy drinks, glass after glass after glass of various kinds of drink, and he attempted to make her drunk, and therefore less inhibited and more suggestible. It's an old trick. And of course, everything was covered by BBC expenses, which means your money if you pay your TV licence. Sweeney basically asked her to collude with him, along with an organisation called Hope Not Hate, in basically bringing down Tommy Robinson. Now, Hope Not Hate is termed anti-fascist, and of course that just means fascist against anti-globalists. They're the people who supported and have helped with the banning of David Icke from Australia. If you remember my David Icke is Evil video, maybe I'll put a link in the description box of that if I remember. You can find it anywhere on my channel. Now, it's also carried out harassment campaigns against people. It's got a couple of people sacked from their jobs because employees are so fucking gutless that so they have to get rid of loyal members of staff whenever some important person tells them to. And I'm not talking about myself, of course, am I? Well, yes, I am. Anyway, I've been through that. but they carried out hate campaigns against Lawrence Southern, Caelan Robertson. Now, Lawrence Southern made a very good, I say good, it's a very harrowing watch, but it's a very important documentary exposing the genocide in South Africa, and I've done a live stream about that called the South African, I think it's called South African Farm Murders or something like that. Anyway, yeah, they'll persuade employers to sack staff members who have the wrong opinions. They'll just go to them behind the scenes, and they'll threaten to carry out a harassment campaign against the employer unless they drop that member of staff. And as I said, most employers are parts of these days are part of large organisations which deliberately put people in positions of power within the company or within the organisation, the state bureaucracy in the case of the NHS, in my example, who are completely devoid of brains, balls and a heart. So of course they suggest, yes, we'll get rid of him. The BBC denies any collusion with Hope Not Hate, and John Sweeney affirmed it, but Lucy Brown had a hidden camera on her at the meeting in Cambridge and recorded him saying otherwise. And what's more, Tommy and Lucy sent a fake text message that fell into the hands of the BBC, and the way they sent the message, it's complicated, it's very, very clever actually. This is something for Frederick Forsyth, but it could only have come into the hands of the BBC through a source in Hope Not Hate. And also Sweeney offered to coach Lucy before her formal interview to tell her what answers to give to questions, which is against the BBC's guidelines. These famous I think they're 5 main guidelines. They're written in the 1920s about basically the charter of the BBC, and he breaches those fundamental principles that the BBC is built on. He even suggests he wants to concoct allegations of sexual misconduct against Tommy and insinuates that Lucy could help him. In other words, Lucy crying rape. Yeah, it's horrific, but what makes it so wonderful is the good guys win. It's a wonderful vindication because they basically, when Tommy turns up to film this panorama thing with John Sweeney, he then ambushes Sweeney with all the evidence he's gathered against him through the hidden filming and the tricks with Hope Not Hate. And John Sweeney absolutely squirms like a little worm on a hook, and just exactly what he deserves to be. And the BBC deserve this. It's sweet revenge, and top marks to Tommy and Lucy and the team for springing this trap. And what you think of Tommy doesn't matter. I think he's basically a decent man. I don't think he's a racist or anything elseist. All the other things that the media have called him, they've misrepresented him. I don't think he deserves to be put in jail. He has identified very real, serious social problems, the grooming gangs and things like that. But what he doesn't understand is the cause of those problems. Tommy Robinson, he essentially is like me in a way because he fears the rise of a new world order. But for him, that new world order is Islam. When in truth, as I've said several times, radical Islam is just a tool that the real New World Order is using. There's not going to be a caliphate, but they'll use the fear of a caliphate to give us something even worse. Panodrama is one of the best stories of real-life media espionage ever made. Do watch it. And when you do what I did, download it wherever you see it, because it has a reputation for disappearing. It's very good. Excellent.
May I take your picture?
Of course, yes.
Okay, it's a Panwo TV exclusive. Someone's just come up and told me that Parliament have rejected Theresa May's deal by 60 votes. It lost by 60 votes. Good. It's probably for the best. I'll say more about it later.
It's quite well known, and he's asking if I want to go for first it was a cup of tea and then it was a pint, and he'll come all the way to Cambridge to see me.
You don't want like it's all filling the seas, it's killing the fish and the dolphins and the whales and things. You know, hello, how are you? I like your flag. He's from? Yeah, this guy's got a stars and stripes there, along with the Union Jack. It doesn't affect the whole thing. This is my homage to your country.
Yes, they have something for you.
There you are. I'm watching, this is the film Panodrama. they're filming it at the moment. So that's it. Oh, what's this? This gentleman's giving me something. Oh, he's got these little. He's got the little ones. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. This gentleman's just given me a little Stars and Stripes toy alongside my Union flag.
I've got a different one for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's
Oh, that's the old.
it's the 13 colonies.
Oh,
Betsy Ross
that's an
flag.
old one. Oh, thank you.
But this is better. 1776.
Oh, thank you very much. The year of independence. Yeah, that's it. Look at this. Look at this. This gentleman here has just given me some flags. This gentleman here, he's got a big one. He's given me these Stars and Stripes and the 1776 flag because, you know, funny enough, in the American colonies, they have Ramonas there too. You know.
Yeah, that's got the 13 stars of the
Oh, thank you very much.
States, first states.
Thank you very much.
You might think it's EU because the 13 stars.
Yeah, and that's a weird.
It's different with the red and white stripes.
Maybe they're taking the mickey out of us, you know. 'Cause, you know, in the American colonies, they had Ramonas there too. They were going, we can't be independent. We're doomed. We're doomed.
They want to get Trump in legal things about his hotels and business dealings, and also Moscow Trump Tower, if there ever was one.
Yeah.
Any little thing they want to investigate,
Yeah.
especially the Democrat in Congress.
Well, they just wasted $25 million, and how many man hours, how much time investigating himself at his Russia collusion? He's been exonerated.
I think it was a 2-year investigation. It didn't result in anything. It's just 26 Russians indicted, but you can't get them extradite them from Russia.
Yeah, we were saying this to begin with. They says this is not. There's no case here. We were saying that to begin with from the very start.
The other six people, it's just like tax evasion.
Yeah.
No Russian collusion.
Petty stuff. Yeah, exactly.
The focus is the collusion, but it's a waste of our taxpayer money.
Yeah, absolutely. They wanted to smear him. Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. Thank you very much for these. Much appreciated. I'll put them in pride of place. Cheers. Much appreciated, mate.
I think Trump's mother is Scottish, right?
Yes, she is. She was a Scottish lady.
Does that give Donald Trump citizenship?
I hope so. They can come here and be our Prime Minister when you finish with him as your president. He'd be the perfect Prime Minister.
He's tired of politics. He'd rather just retire. You know?
Oh man, he's a great man.
He wants to make America better.
Yeah.
Not with establishment, not with Democrats or Republicans. He's interested in the country itself.
He's never been part of the political
Not
establishment.
politics.
He wasn't meant to win. See, that's it.
God has a plan for him.
Yeah.
He might have a plan for England too.
I hope so, yes. Here's your hand here, mate. Let me help you with that.
Oh, thank you.
Just help me put his yellow vest on. There we go. Oh, sorry. Get over there a bit.
No, Base Amy. She gave me this.
Oh, lovely.
Base Amy.
Oh, great. I know what, yeah. Good stuff, man. There we go. He's got his yellow vest, Stars and Stripes. Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. I'm actually... That there is... I voted leave. There we are. See, it's very, very simple. This gentleman's got one too. This is what's gone down the memory hole. This is what they're trying. This is what the government is trying to treat as a interim opinion poll that might have happened at some point. So, thank you very much. QAnon there. It's a QAnon yellow gilet jaune. There's another one with Q on. I think that lady's got a Q. I'll just have a look around the back of that lady. I'll be back in a sec. I like your QAnon thing. It's really good. I like your QAnon thing. Yay, nice one.
I'm a supporter! Yay!
Yeah. Oh, Q, yay!
Yay, we're Q girls.
You like it? I love Q too. I always follow Q posts. Yeah, brilliant. Well done. Well done, thank you.
That reaches from Britain to Australia.
It's Tommy Robinson speaking now, as you can see.
I will prove to every single one of you that they are all part of the same club. From play the video. Let's play a video.
Villain to some, but glorified outside court to them. There's no doubt he's become.
That helicopter's flying low.
When you see the concept
Making a lot of noise.
I was actually talking
When Tommy Robinson.
an educational video.
Maybe they're trying bit. Maybe they're trying to shut him up. Could be. I don't know. But I can hear him perfectly. He's very loud, so it's not working. We just had Gerard Batten on. He's been speaking.
Declared war on the British people. It's a war without guns. It's a war without bullets, but nonetheless they have declared war on you and me. And not going to So we declare war on them. And when we declare we need a leader.
I'm waking up. And then more
leader. So it's a
people are waking up.
Okay, now we've told you many.
So I've been filming all the best bits because it's just so wonderful that I don't want to, I don't want to. Do you want to be on Pamo TV? No, you don't worry. I'm with someone I've made a new friend here. And, no worries. And I've been talking to some other people, and it's been like, it's so wonderful. Because we were like singing Jerusalem. And do you know what? Watch my video about William Blake's grave, and you know what I feel about that. I'm singing that again at 11 PM tonight. So, go on, it's Sargon of Akkad.
I tell you what, I am really disappointed today.
There he is.
Our parliament are not sovereign.
There's Sargon of Akkad, everyone.
Independence.
Yay.
They're afraid of independence.
Yeah,
they don't think that our country should be sovereign, and they won't vote for our sovereignty.
I'm here, as I said before, there are two separate events here, or two separate stages. I mean, we're all in one big area, and we're all connected, they're close to each other. So the two have kind of merged, but there's one stage here, as you can see. And if you go over here, there's another stage over there. There's another event organised by Leave Means Leave. Nigel Farage was over there. I decided to stick with this one. You can't go to both. I'll be able to watch the other one on the video. But this lady's absolutely right. We're leaving this evening at 11 PM. There's a guy in the front dressed like Trump. So last night at the proms. Well, it's just finished. Today's just finished. The last part was where several politicians from other European countries phoned up to say that we wanted Brexit, that's good. To offer their support for us. People from Sweden, Greece, France, Netherlands, and it just goes to show that in other parts of Europe they actually have politicians, non-globalist politicians. They've actually managed to get into office, which is something we haven't yet achieved here in this country. Because if we were, it would all go very differently. Now heading back to, I'll look at the other side now, because there were some more people in Parliament Square, so just going to go have a look at them now. Look at the crowd here. I'm trying to estimate the number of people. It's been shoulder to shoulder throughout this entire enclosure. There could easily be 1 million people here. That's 5,000, the Guardian will say. My legs are killing me. It's worth it though. Really worth it. It's dark now. I don't know what. I've got no idea what time it is. Oh yeah. Yeah, we want our country back. Vote Leave. Yeah. Yay! It's been such an atmosphere. It really has. Oh look, there's some balloons taking out a flag there. Oh, wicked. Look at that there. I don't know what's been going on this side of the
debate because it's been like this side of the particular party, because there was another stage over here and Nigel Farage was over here and several other people. And it's like, all these people. Hey there, alright. This is where we all started. All these hours ago. People are still here. Look at the crowds. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we had 1 million people. That's really good, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's so nice to meet everyone with the same mind as you. And
you know, it's amazing. It's how lonely I've been at home, because like in Oxford it's a Remainer Central, and here I feel like I'm at home. You know what I mean? Because here I'm with people like on my wavelength.
It really shows how people feel.
Yes, it really does. I'm just making a documentary actually about this called Brexit Protest for YouTube. So do you mind if I put you ladies on it? Would you like to be on it? I'll cut this out if you want.
You understand us.
I do. I understand you. I do. I've just done an interview actually with a young lady called Laura, who was a journalist student, and she came up to me and asked if she wanted to ask me a few questions about my feelings of why I voted leave and things like that, and I was happy to answer her. And this guy came up while I was in the middle of it, and he tried to butt in a bit, and I told him to wait till he's finished. But when I finished, she interviewed him too. He's a German chap, and he's worried he might get kicked out of the country when we have Brexit. And I said, you know, foreign people have been coming to Britain since prehistoric times. It's not going to stop just because you don't have this overarching regulator to organise it all. And so I told him not to worry too much. I mean, he is worried. And I mean, obviously I can't put myself in his shoes, but you know, he seems. I hope he'll be all right. But it's very interesting talking to this young lady, a very short woman. She had like a little camera, and she just interviewed me. And so she's a journalistic student. Goodness me, she's getting into a cutthroat profession there. I'll tell you, I've got to find somewhere and get a cup of coffee because I'm gasping for one. I really am. There must be one round here somewhere. Still here at Parliament Square. I've got myself a coffee. I'm now just sitting here waiting. Unfortunately, the cafe was a Cafe Nero, but it was very small. It didn't have anywhere to sit. It's just like basically a bar to stand by. So I got myself a coffee and I want to sit and wait. It's 3 hours. I've got some Stefan Molyneux to listen to on my MP3 player. I might just have to dip into that. But there's still a few people around. Look, see, there's a guy with flags over there. So there's still a few Brexiteers around. Oh, a Welsh flag. Right goch. You can always know the Welsh are going to be in or things like this. There's the police. The roads are still shut. The police are still around. Everyone's in a really good mood. I mean, I must say, I don't think I've felt happier for a very long time, actually. I've really got into the spirit of what's happened here today. I've met some people I was talking to. There's one lady in particular I was talking to who I really sort of like gelled with, you know. I'm keeping in touch with her on Facebook, and so we'll hopefully talk again. You know, to be surrounded by these people you can talk to, it's like being a probe. You know, they just, even I told some of them I was into UFOs, and they nodded, and some of them are as well, and they know about Roswell. I was talking to people about a possible false flag coming up, and oh, you mean like Joe Cox? She said. And I thought, what? And he said, yeah, you know that guy didn't do it, don't you? He brought the subject up, not me. I was astonished, absolutely astonished. You know, you know what I mean? It's like, it is like being a probe here. I felt like with being with all these people, it's where I belong. That's how it feels. Whereas where I am now, in my normal life, I don't belong there. I mean, I'm not unhappy where I am in my normal life. I love my daughter, I love my dad and my brother, but I don't have what you call a social life, except on the internet. Oh, you know, I literally don't. And that's what makes this so different. I think it's the same with Probe. And like I said, there was lots. It's almost empty now, but you can see by the space here. Look at the space. Everyone was shoulder to shoulder. The screen was up there near Downing Street. There's Westminster Abbey. I reckon there were everyone is packed in like sardines. The Guardian will say 5,000 people came here today. I think it could be as many as 1 million. This is people in action we just witnessed today, and I talk with people who speak my language when it comes to this, and they understand these things, and they feel the same way I feel about the way we've been sold down the river by our politicians. And it makes me feel more isolated from my dad, actually. Maybe I'll say more about that another time. A second. I'm down there. This is where the news reporters are, and I'm down by the Palace of Westminster here, the entrance here. And I was hoping to see Jonathan Pye, or one of the funny ones, but all the other reporters are here. And as you can see, they've got UKIP flags, Union Jacks, and look at that. Leave the EU now. There we are. It's all behind. So this is what the viewers, the TV viewing public, are going to see. There's a reporter over there, actually. A repeater, as David Icke calls them. And so I'm hoping we'll be able to eavesdrop on some of the reporters and maybe heckle a little bit, you know? before they're in the gallery, they've got a chance to press the red button and cut the transmission. And there you see it. There's another reporter there, another repeater. This is you see bits of Westminster Abbey there, and they're all doing their little reports about what's been happening. And there up there is the tower of the Palace of Westminster. And oh man, there's not many people left. There's a few people around. There's the flags which he showed you earlier. There's not enough for real heckling, unfortunately. That was what I was hoping for. I'm now heading back to Westminster. The thing about it is I need to go to the toilet, and there's a toilet in the underground station, I think. But it's now 9 PM, so 2 hours till the big moment. My goodness me, I was talking to somebody actually. I'm talking to this lady called Susanna, and she was saying that they have been debating the ruling by this judge on the radio, which actually stated that they can't actually extend the Article 50 period without a full Act of Parliament to amend the Act, the original Act. And there's like, if the mainstream media pick up on this, they might have to actually admit at some point next week, when are we going to leave the European Union? And so, oh, actually we left at 11 PM Friday, but we didn't realise it. Oh, can you believe it? Now that would be funny. That would be a turn up for the books. And it would be really, really great if that happened. I'd be delighted. But either way, I mean, even if it doesn't, we are going to be an independent at 11 PM tonight. And I'm going to be standing underneath the clock tower, Big Ben, which you can see there. It just appears at just the right moment when I mention it. And to capture the moment forever. But right now, I need to have a bloody piss. Because I haven't been able to go all day, and I've had a cup of coffee because I'm getting dehydrated. Now I need to find a loo, and they're always in short supply in London, unfortunately. But I will find one somewhere. Well, I'm walking back now. I'm actually on the embankment. You can see there's the London Eye there, and there's the GLC building. It keeps flashing different colours. St Thomas's Hospital. I went to try and find a public toilet. Couldn't find one. The one in Westminster is shut. Can't find any anywhere else. It's one of the problems with London. They are few and far between, actually, toilets. So I'm just going to have to tie a knot in it and wait till I'm back on the coach, I think. It won't be long, actually, because it's now 9:30. I haven't had much to drink, actually, so it's not urgent. But you know, you have to actually dehydrate yourself, so you don't have to keep needing a loo all the time, which is really bad. I'm now we're going to head back now to the news centre because hopefully when the 10 o'clock news comes on, we'll have a very interesting time with when the politicians come up on the balcony to do a bit of heckling, as they do. I mean, it's all polite. I won't swear or anything, but I will. You know, these traitors do need to be put in their place. As you can see, it's just gone 9:30. That clock is going to become very important in the next couple of hours. As we head to... Hello mate, you alright? Okay, we're back now at the the media tent area, and these are the studios. These are the live TV studios for various news. That's the BBC one. That there is Sky News, and they are currently presenting. And every time they go live, we can tell because the audio cue works. We cheer, we chant like you see here. I'll tell you what, right? What happened? Look what someone stuck this on my back. Bollocks to Brexit. I was just standing but waiting for the lights to change.
Brexit! When do we want it?
No!
What do we want?
Brexit!
When do we want it?
No! Brexit! No! Brexit! No!
Sophie, I love you. Will you marry me?
Well, that'd be a good couple. I had this. I was just standing there.
PM!
Yay! I was just standing waiting for the lights to change. Someone bumped into me. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. She said, I wasn't looking where I was going. Anyways, a bit later, someone pointed out she stuck this on my back. Bollocks to Brexit. That was a Ramona. That's a Ramona's idea of a joke. Anyway, lucky they spotted it because they didn't want that on me back. So we're heckling these reporters now and making sure that they don't have an uninterrupted mainstream media.
Brexit!
No! Brexit! No!
10 minutes.
We have done it. Yeah. We are.
Illegally, have we actually?
Look at that. Oh, I've got camera envy, man.
That's the thing.
I've got camera envy. Look at that. No, we are actually the Article 50 Act has not actually been amended officially, so which means that we are still leaving at 11 PM tonight.
I thought they did it yesterday.
Well, no, they brought our statute of instrument, but the statute of instrument has to be a European court judge has actually just commented on this. It has to be a proper act to amend the original act, and it hasn't. It hasn't been passed by the House of Lords or anything. It wasn't presented as a proper bill. This means we are leaving in 10 minutes' time. We're leaving the European Union. And they won't admit it, they'll lie about it, but that's actually what will have happened in 11 PM. And we can now, where we can see the
What channel are you? Oh, right. And what were you been told to do? Just get a shot of the 11 o'clock or what? Is that it?
Yeah.
You could have done that all day.
Cool.
You didn't have to just darkened it a bit, you know.
Well, no, it's just a green screen, you know.
Okay, you won't get overtime, but you know.
Obviously, I'm here with 3 people.
You just got a photo.
This guy's a BBC cameraman. We're actually with a BBC cameraman right now. He's capturing the 11 o'clock moment because they believe he was saying he believes it would have been the time we left the EU, and I've just explained this is the time we're going to leave the EU. So 10 minutes to go, guys, and there is the clock face. It's the only one we can see because the Big Ben is wrapped in a big plaster cast at the moment. So, but yeah, there's just a few people here to mark this history. It's just a handful of us. This is a Panmo TV exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. We are the only people in the world under watching the nation's timepiece to record the actual moment the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland becomes an independent nation. Incredible.
So if you've been told to just stay.
Right, it's coming up to 5:02. And we're on this island here on the embankment, and those people there, someone from BBC ITV, there's an independent journalist. Years from now, people will talk about us. There's only about 8 people here. There's myself, an independent journalist and filmmaker with a YouTube channel, the BBC ITV cameraman just getting a shot of the clock. Years from now, people will talk about us because we were there at that moment. We and us alone. And it's really weird, there's only us. We were here to witness the moment right beside the nation's timepiece when the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland became an independent nation. And everyone else is going to come back in 2 weeks' time, and they're probably going to come here and say, yeah, we're out of the EU, but they don't realise. And I think maybe they will by then, maybe it'll all come out in the media, but they'll realise that they're 2 weeks late. It's already happened. Can you believe it? Oh, this is the ultimate Panmo TV exclusive. It really is. So I hope you enjoy it, Panmo TV viewers. I really do. There's just 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go. This is the big one coming down. When it's hits 1 minute, I'll start counting. I think because I can't find a Wi-Fi signal or anything to get a world clock. 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1. Yay! We're free! This is it, we're free! We're free! The country's now free! Yay! And did those feet in ancient times walk upon England's mountains green, and was the holy Lamb of God on England's pleasant pastures seen, and did the countenance divine shine forth upon our clouded hills, and was Jerusalem builded here among those dark satanic mills. Bring me my bow of burning gold, bring me my arrows of desire, bring me my spear, oh clouds unfold, bring me my chariot of fire. I shall not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land. Happy independence, everyone! We're free! We're free! We're independent! If they've lied to you, now is Brexit, it's happened. We're free! They lied about it. The Article 50 Act has not been amended. We've just left the European Union forever! Rule Britannia! It is done. Finally. This long journey is over. I sometimes thought we would never see the end of it. I thought we'd never ever be sitting here now saying we've done it, we have achieved Brexit. It seemed so impossible at times. I want to pay homage to the British public, you know, because you are the greatest people in the world. You are magnificent. You faced everything that they could throw at you. What the Illuminati, occupation forces of this world decided to do when things didn't go their way. They gave you fear stories, and they gave you guilt. They told you you were an evil person for what you did, that you're a racist, you're a Nazi, you're all these sorts of things. And they said you were going to ruin the economy and everything like that. And they used their useful idiots in the Ramona camp to bully you. They must have thought you would cave into the pressure, but you didn't. At times it must have seemed like this dogged determination would eventually be your undoing. But I can tell you now, British people, that your courage and your dedication and your firm standing has been your salvation. I will never ever forget what you've done, and neither will anyone else in the world, because you have shown how great you are, and how when the New World Order is finally over and everyone knows about it, that you will have played such an important role in that first step to freedom, throwing the first brick, firing the first shot in the war to end all wars. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I'm so proud to be one of you. Well, it's midnight. This country has just enjoyed its first hour as an independent state. One hour of freedom.
Welcome to the Oxford Tube.
Do you know what?
We hope you have a pleasant journey.
Nothing much has changed. You think in 60 minutes more would, don't you? But
passengers to wear seatbelts about
can't expect that yet, can you?
likely event.
I'm just going to go for a few souvenirs here. I've got, I don't know if you can call them that. That's my underground ticket. That's my... This is my coach ticket. That's my coach ticket. This is the bollocks to Brexit sticker that someone stuck on my back, which I've already showed you. I don't think if you can call that a souvenir. Look what it says here. It's not a done deal. Well, yes, it is. What's the website underneath there? bollocks to Brexit. Oh, hashtag bollocks to Brexit. Yes, it is a done deal. This was given to me by a woman in a mobility scooter called Rowena. Now, she's someone I've heard of because she's been on a show with Caroline Stevens. And indeed, she's talking here about the Lisbon Treaty, the most relevant and important of all replacement treaties that have been signed without our agreement. The UK remains... The amended Lisbon Treaty will provide over any and all of UK laws, and here's a list. You can pause and read this, ladies and gentlemen, if the UK remains under control of the EU. Yeah. But this basically, well, you've heard this because this is what Caroline was talking about when I interviewed her. She goes through this list herself. But please feel free to pause and read. This sadly is the future of the UK youth today, and even some far older UK folk think that we who want to leave the UK are denying them. They should be on their knees thanking those of us that fight and campaign for UK sovereignty, independence and democracy, free from the shackles of the European Union, for saving them from being turned into Orwellian automatons. Yeah, the European law will take precedence over UK law, has to be subservient and adhere to UK EU law. That's absolutely true. And as I said before, as Caroline has said, this can't be solved just by Brexit alone. It needs to be, the EU Communities Act of 1973 needs to be repealed, etc., etc. 72 or 73. The one which brought us into the common market, so-called, which is actually an embryonic federation, as Tony Benn tried to warn us at the time, saying, "This will be the United States of Europe." That man sadly did not live to see the 2016 referendum. He died shortly before then, which I'm very sad about. He deserved to see that. Now, someone handed this to me. God loves you. God's purpose, peace and life is God, and wants you to experience peace and life abundant and eternal. All right, well, it's basically this was a street preacher gave this to me. It wasn't the guy who was saying that Brexit fulfills a biblical prophecy. It was not that man. This was actually an old black woman gave me this. But there you are. If you are inclined that way, you can go and check out these websites. But this has brought up an interesting point about the spiritual side of things. As Caroline and I have discussed, we are engaged in a spiritual war here. It is about good versus evil in the true Star Wars, Lord of the Rings sense. That is real. That this realm, this spiritual realm, is real. Now you can call it God versus the devil. You can call it the dark side of the Force versus the Jedi. You can call it whatever you like, but it is real. I think one of the reasons I like Jerusalem, which is why I sung that at the Brexit moment and found myself on Newsnight. I really didn't expect that. I didn't want that. But the reason I sung that is because I love that song. Some people say it's a hymn, some people say it's not a hymn. It doesn't matter. It is a beautiful song composed. I can't remember who composed it, but the lyrics are based on a poem by William Blake. I've talked about this before. If you go to firstly my Glastonbury Symposium, Ben Goes on Tour video, I talk about this, Ben Goes on Tour. Secondly, I've talked about it when I went to visit William Blake's grave. For me, it's symbolic of this bitter struggle, this spiritual struggle, and how it combines with the national question and independence and things like that, and culture. That's how it's, for me, it's a song which epitomises all that. And William Blake was such a wise man, as I explained in my video about William Blake. We were singing lots of patriotic songs last night, as you remember from the video. rule Britannia, etc. I don't actually, I did not sing. Several times people were singing God Save the Queen. I will not sing that song. Because as I've said, Queen Elizabeth II is not my queen. She's not our queen. That Anunnaki reptilian is not a queen to anybody except her own branch of the Illuminati. That is the Habsburg dynasty. The Habsburg branch of the Illuminati. That's who she represents. She is a force of oppression and occupation on this particular country. She's a usurper. She and her family have no legitimate right to the throne. And so I will not sing any song praising her or asking God to save her. Strange, that, isn't it? It's so strange how these things go. I mean, maybe we should, if we need a new national anthem, which we will need in the post-Illuminati world. What should it be? Maybe it should be Jerusalem. There's already a campaign to make Jerusalem the national anthem of England, because England doesn't actually have a national anthem, believe it or not. In Wales we have Land of My Fathers, in Scotland we have Flag of Scotland. England doesn't have an anthem. At sporting events they just sing God Save the Queen. Well, that's an anthem of the United Kingdom. Is England... You've got to ask yourself, I mean, more and more English people are understanding this, that England... Now we have national identities in separate parliaments and assemblies for Wales and Scotland. England itself, as the dominant, as the dominant nation in the UK, its very dominance in the UK has stripped it of its own national identity. So that's something English people need to work on. Make St George's Day a public holiday, I say. Make Jerusalem your national anthem. I mean, I'm Welsh, so I say your national anthem. Make it your national anthem. Well, I'm back in Oxford. It is 1:10 in the morning. It's over 12 hours since I first arrived in London. I'm back in Oxford. Oh, and I am pretty sleepy. It's been quite a day. My legs are like two stiff boards. And I am... But I'm back in Oxford. Just really feeling... really amazing. I mean, I've got some news actually, literally news. You know, I said I'd never be on the BBC. I wouldn't be willingly, but apparently I made it onto Newsnight tonight. I'm not kidding, I was on Newsnight, not completely inadvertently, because those cameras I showed you, one of them was the BBC one, he was doing like just a shot of the clock face at 11 PM, and in the newsroom they were doing a report on that was when Brexit was supposed to be. And and so I know because one of the other people who I was with was watching it on. They were watching it on their phone, and they said, "Oh, you made it on the Newsnight, Ben," because they could hear they could hear you singing in the studio. And apparently the presenter, I don't know who it is, said, "Oh, well, someone's singing Jerusalem out there." That was me. I'm on Newsnight. I'm famous. So what I'm going to do is, well, I'll have to check and see if it's on the vid. If it's on YouTube, I will download it and I'll post a link on Panamo Voice so everyone can see me. And then that's £2 on £2 each on iTunes, I think, for that. That's a bit of an exclusive. But yeah, of course, as I've said, that was us leaving the European Union. It wasn't when it was supposed to be. That was Britain leaving the European Union. It's written down in law, and so that's why I was celebrating it. And I just, my feeling is that today was almost I would say joyous. I've not felt happier than I did today for a long time. It was like Probe. I think I've said that already, but it was very much like Probe. The actual what was done. The atmosphere of it. You know, just being there with all those people who were kind of on my side and on my wavelength it was intoxicating. It makes me realise just how isolated I am here in my own life. I'm not complaining, you know. I mean, I've got a great life. I love my life, but I do. Well, I was surrounded by hundreds of thousands of people
who I would say were on my side and could understand me, and that is quite a heady feeling. Well, there was absolutely no trouble. Nothing. I mean, there was loads of police there, as you saw, vans, horses, motorbikes, everything. But you know what? I never even saw anyone drunk. Apparently, there was a bit of a skirmish up at Trafalgar Square. Some of the people I saw marching up there were apparently someone told me there were rumours there was trouble caused at Trafalgar Square. But I mean, I never saw anything. That could just be rumours. But there were some people I saw walking up Whitehall, a big crowd of, I think it was the DFLA or the EDL people, and they looked pretty rowdy. But, you know, the whole time during the actual protest, I never saw anyone who wasn't smiling and happy and peaceful and having the time of their lives and empowered more than anything else. I never saw there were not any arrests. I didn't see any trouble. I didn't see anyone behave in any negative way at all, not in any way, in shape or form. I think the only trouble, if you call it that, I mean, the only aggravation I got from anyone in terms of Ramona's, I mean, if you call it aggravation, was that woman who stuck a sticker on my back, who stuck that bollocks to Brexit sticker on my back, pretending to bump into me, sticking. Sorry, I told you about that, didn't I? I showed you the sticker that she stuck on my back, and someone spotted it and said, "Hey Ben, look what you've got on your back." I'm glad someone alerted me to that. It's been quite a day, and we are out of the European Union, although, as I said, I wonder if anyone will actually pick up on the point I made, anyone in the mainstream media. I mean, according to that lady Susanna I was talking to, it was discussed on LBC this morning. I think it was Nigel Farage's show. He did actually discuss the fact that the extension of Brexit is not lawful, and therefore the 29th of March is irrevocably Brexit Day without a proper amendment of the 2017 Act, and that amendment's never taken place. So we are out of the European Union now, by the letter of the law, and the government are just lying again. It's just to be honest, I mean, it's actually one of the smaller lies they've told about the EU and Brexit over the last few years. So it's perfectly possible they're just going to keep up the pretense and just hope nobody notices. I mean, what they got to gain, I don't know, because it's just delaying the inevitable. They might as well just admit it and say, we're out now, it's okay, we're out, rather than make us wait 2 weeks. The reason they make us wait 2 more weeks is possibly because they are going to go for broke. They're going to do something very desperate. There's going to be a false flag attack, another Joe Cox, or maybe the 10,000 troops that have just landed in the country will be used as some kind of invasion force or coup. That's the ultimate scenario. That's the ultimate thing that I fear, and we should all fear, and that's the ultimate that I think is the most extreme but possible scenario that could play out. And I've talked about that on the various live streams I've done, and you can check those out. I'll put a link in the description box to one of them. I'm also putting a link in the description box to Why 2016 Matters, because that's, I think, a very, very important film. Now, before any of you call me and say, "Oh, you're naive, Ben," I mean, yeah, I've been through the thing about Brexit not mattering, and this is what Why 2016 Matters is all about. Before they say, "Oh, you're going to just sit back and relax now, you think the New World Order's over, don't you, Ben, because we've got Brexit. So, oh, that's it, oh, that's all right, then the Illuminati have fallen because we've got Brexit. Oh, Ben's going to sit around and do nothing now, he's going to build matchstick models for the rest of his life." Nothing could be further from the truth. I am acutely aware that the war is far from over. This is a battle we've won. It's a very important one because it represents, as I've said before many times, a breakdown in the power the deep state has over this planet. And it could lead to many more things. This could be the first domino that's fallen, and there could be many others that also fall. However, no one is more aware than I am that it's not over yet by a long stroke. Brexit is the first skirmish which we have won, but it's the start. It's the point where more things follow. As I've said before about the military unification, the Lisbon Treaty, these things are still on the statute books. The European Communities Act is still on the statute books. As Caroline has said, we need to repeal that. We need to repeal all the other things that have been brought in, such as the various pieces of Westminster legislation have gone through to try and replace a lot of the European legislation. That all needs to be repealed. There's a huge task ahead of us now. Brexit is it represents the start. It's just the first move of the chess game that we now have to play. It's just the first tick in the box of a whole checklist that we have to complete before we can say the New World Order is over and the world is free. But what's happened today is of enormous importance. This march, with all its positive energy and all its joy and all its empowerment, it's making people feel pride. That is that has enormous impacts that are going to ripple not just throughout the country, but not just throughout Europe, but throughout the world. What we've done today is of enormous purport, because it represents a setback for the agenda to create a single one world state, the type that David Icke talks about, the one world government. I think this day will be one that will echo in eternity. Brexit Day. This is Brexit Day. This has been a Brexit Day, and it'll be celebrated every year. Whether it will become Independence Day, I know that Independence Day currently is the 23rd of June. Whether it will be moved to this Brexit Day or not, I don't know. Whether we'll just have 2 Independence Days, or we'll have Independence Day and Brexit Day. But I really do. I'm very, very keen to see what happens next. It's exciting just to think that in these centuries and millennia of the Illuminati agenda for the New World Order, the great work of the ages, the time it fell was during my lifetime. I could have been born any time before or after that, but I happened to be born at the time when to witness it happening. Oh man, gonna get the popcorn in, guys. Get the popcorn in, pull up a comfortable chair. It's going to be quite a show. So I'm going to head home now. Head home to a well-earned rest. I'm tired, but I am very, very happy. As I said, I am overjoyed by what's happened today. It couldn't have been better. I've met some people, I've made some new friends, I've exchanged some emails and things like that, so hopefully I'll be able to network now. Oh man. It's a shame none of you guys could. I mean, I did say to her Panwo TV viewers, come and join me, come and say hello. And you didn't. Well, that's okay, maybe you weren't able to find me in the crowd, that's cool. But we'll meet at other times. But you, in a way, you were with me. You were with me this evening. And thank you very much for watching. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order.